KSYM, San Antonio College Radio. This is Urban Suite D Major, Cheryl Metal, Kool, and Era in studio with us. So, 4 fantastic albums that you guys released before you went on a hiatus.
We did.
For quite a while now.
Yeah, we did the 4 records, and then during the pandemic, we decided to release a record because it was just, one of those moments where we all got, how would you say, everyone's like thought the group broke up, but you can't really break a family up, you know what I mean?
Right.
And so we all individually would hang out. Rhett obviously is superstar Rhett, doing everything he does. Between having kids, I was part of a startup in a tech company, so I was like running with a bunch of Silicon Valley people and just learning a lot about business, to be honest. I mean, some pretty heavyweight people, and so it put me in a place, I think, mentally, learning about the business, but I started realizing how much I miss just being able to be able to do what I love to do, which is, I'm passionate about music. So I think over that time, between having kids, multiple kids, and everyone doing their thing, other guys in the group getting into different industries that they're holding it down in as well. So, California, a lot of opportunities opened up, during those years. So everyone was doing their thing. And I think it took us being able to have the space to grow as individuals, because it felt like there was at a point, the last record we did, the 4th record, We Are the Ones. I mean, we had a track we did a track with Jay Dilla. You know what I mean? Like what more can you top from that? You know what I mean? We had Sadat X, YZ, RBX, and Brother Jay from the X Clan. You rap with your heroes on a posse cut. Where do we go from? I mean, to us, we're like, we've done it. You know what I mean? So we're at the point to where I think it took us being able to have a breather and being able to, and it wasn't like, we had some things to work out too as individuals, because, anytime you do something as a business together, usually partnerships dissolve within, a year or two, or whatever. We had been already together, a group by that time in 2006. We had already been together for like 11 years, and we were still doing shows together. So we would show up in rock shows and do certain things, but it wasn't until 2020, well, actually when Tumix got sick, and, we literally almost watched him die a couple times in front of us, kind of thing. When he came to, he was like, we got to do a record. We're like, what? Okay, I'm not kidding. He said, I was seeing, I was seeing spirits and people that were trying to come and take me. I was in the darkness. Like he was on all kinds of morphine and all, so he was hallucinating. But he's like, when you and Rhett walked in, and we just started talking hip hop, he goes, that's when I knew I wasn't dreaming. And he says, just talk about hip hop. That's what he said, just talk about hip hop. He's like, what was it? And we started talking about records, like, oh, remember, Stilo and It's My Turn, and using that, that break. And we just started talking record. And he's like, that's, I'll have him come and tell you the story himself. But he said, that's when I knew it was real. Like, I wasn't dreaming anymore. I was okay. And then when the group came, we were all together with him. He's like, we got to make a record. We're like, you got to get better first. Like, we weren't even concerned about making a record, but he planted that thought. And so, we had been piecing together songs and doing stuff. Finally, in 2020, we said, let's just do stuff like how we used to. We just did stuff without, like, we have to do this. Like, we just made stuff. And after we had a bunch of stuff together, we're like, why don't we, 2020, people need something. We need something. Let's just put a record out. We decided to put out V, or, it's also the Roman numeral for 5, and put out our 5th record. And still, a lot of people are like, that happened? Because we're also disconnected during the pandemic, and so, but we released our 5th record during the pandemic, and that was just one of those things to where, as you saw, like the first official music video, we did it like video conference style video because we couldn't really get together. You know, everything was on lockdown, so it was fun though, and that concepted the whole thing, and we kind of put it together. Pun intended. That was a song. Put it together. But,
yeah, that's I know. I was excited when I saw the announcement for that come out. So, man, so like just recently, as I stated before, Elemental and 2Mex, their long lost music that they worked on, and somehow you were able to find tracks to put this project out.
Yeah,
how did that come about?
So, you know, I think that record was done at the time when we just finished our 4th album, like so 2006-ish. Right after that, we were working on music still, and they had recorded like 10, 12, like there's more songs to it, but we just didn't find all of them, or all of them weren't complete. But then they were like, who has it? No one had it. And so recently, I'm the type of dude that has everything. I have videos, like I was always filming stuff. I kept every flyer, like I have archives of stuff. And I was going through a spool of CDs going, nah, I'm gonna toss these. And I'm looking through it, and I saw one that just said, it said something songs, right? And I said, this looks like 2Mex writing, or, you know, like, who's this? And I popped it in, and I was like, no way. Like, these are the lost songs. Like, this is a lost album that, you know, it wasn't final mixed or anything, but I said, most of them are done. And I told Elemental James about it. And he's like, let's just get, you know, let's just get it mastered and just put it out. Because we've been talking about this since 2006, 7 or whatever. You hear references to LimeWire and stuff like that on it. You know, I was like, let's just leave that just to show how old this thing is. So, and we're like, let's just put it out. It's on Elemental's Bandcamp right now, but we're gonna put it out on all platforms within the month. So, but yeah, that was just one of those things where, when I listened to it, I was like, oh man, this record just feels like so. Yeah, it just feels like Elemental and 2Mex just going to it over J-Rock and Dirt from he was formerly of the Tunnel Rats, I believe. Dirt did a lot of the dope production and LD as well. I think J-Rock did an opening track and another track on it. And yeah, man, so that was literally like one of those within a few days of finding it, just got it out and put it up, and people are like, what is this? Like, where did this come from? We're like, it was there this whole time, just sitting in a box, you know what I mean?
Wow.
So I'm glad I've been, you know, breaking out my stuff and reorganizing and reconfiguring because I'm trying to archive everything, or trying to capture everything that I can. So yeah, that was a record that I was super happy to find though. Humble as Elemental 2Mex, humble as the style.
Almost like divine intervention, just doing a lot of work at the house and boom.
And it was funny because 2Mex just like a week before was like, man, I wish we could find that record. That he said that to me. I wish we could find that Elemental 2Mex record that we did. Like, that's how he talks. I wish we could find that record that we did. I was like, and I was like, I found it. He's like, no way. It was just, yeah. It said the disc. I'll send you a picture. It said something like L something. And it just, I was like, it's some weird code on it, and I think it's their album. And found it. Scribble scrabble. I was about to throw it away too. To be,
oh wow.
That's insane.
I was like, huh? Because I only have a CD player on my MacBook. I have like a CD drive, and I just had it out, and I was going through stuff. So one of those things, man. One of those things.
Like divine intervention there.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Hey y'all, stay tuned. We've got more with Kool and with Era. Do not go anywhere. In this block of music, we have the latest from Rhyme Style Troop plus Norkin for Life and Nesma Nefertiti. Let's go ahead and get into another track from the Visionaries, and probably the track that everyone knows from them. If You Can't Say Love. Do not go anywhere, y'all. More coming up. This is Urban Suite KSYM, San Antonio College Radio.